I call the honourable member Maunganui.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm happy to stand and speak in support of this bill in the name of Te Ururo Flavel on behalf of the Tauranga City Council. And I also, I'm only going to take a very short call, but I do want to address the extraordinary contribution of the Honourable Dr Nick Smith. It's just so incredible how he manages to be offensive even on the most innocuous pieces of legislation. Here's a very simple piece of legislation that everyone supports, and yet he still manages to find that one angle to offend people by saying that because this bill means nothing to him, this bill does nothing and we should just get rid of it. Well, actually, this bill is extremely important to the people of Tauranga, to the iwi of Tauranga, who see this, as Te Ururo Flavel outlined in his speech, as addressing a long-standing issue. Just because it doesn't matter to Nick Smith doesn't mean that it's not important. But perhaps this shows the kind of arrogance that we've seen with the National Party in terms of their engagement with Māori over asset sales and Māori interests in water. Perhaps that is why we are seeing such a dog's breakfast being made there, because of the very kind of attitude that we just saw from the Honourable Dr Nick Smith, which is, I don't like it, get rid of it. Oh, Maggie Barry tells me to talk to the bill. Yes. Maggie Barry never reads the bills. That's why she doesn't realise that I am talking to the bill, which is about recognising the interests of iwi and how important this piece of legislation is to them. And I just want to point out one other thing that the Honourable Dr Nick Smith said. He said that the National Party doesn't pass pieces of legislation to do nothing. Well, we've just had an emissions trading scheme reported back to the House today that will do nothing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, will do nothing to meet our greenhouse gas emission reduction targets, will do nothing to do all the things that an emissions trading scheme is meant to do, except provide enormous cost and bureaucracy for industry who are in it. You could not get a more classic example of a piece of legislation that achieves absolutely nothing except compliance cost and will do nothing to achieve its stated aims of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. I don't think there has been a worse example of legislation that doesn't do anything except cause compliance costs for everyone involved. So I'm very disappointed that the National Party have taken this position on the bill. This is an important piece of legislation for the people it affects. We deserve to show them that respect and not say that just because Nick Smith doesn't care about it, it means it should be ridiculed and rubbished in the House. I hope future National Party members take a slightly more moderate line on this and show the Tauranga City Council and the people of Ngāti Pōtiki the respect that they deserve. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Andrew.